server, and he was a real detriment to his squad. But what's impressive for James is that throughout this tournament, including those two maps they didn't do very well against Amiga, he's still boasting a 1.23 HLTV rating. And I feel like today I'm going to kind of repeat what I said yesterday against Amiga. He has to be an individual that steps up and leads by example.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't feel like you're going to get James on an off day 2 days in a row. He already played against Passion UA earlier, and he had a fantastic series, so it's going to be very difficult for Sashi, no doubt. But they have to keep the belief. They've done very well to get up to this point. Why would they think, well, let's just call it a day here and be happy with the run we've had so far? No siree. They're trying to go all the way. It's going to be PARIVISION towards the safe bomb site. Becky doubles down with the Julies. He does get traded, but he's done his job.
I've already mentioned James at P250 singing. Bomb tapped. And they're out of here. Okay. PARIVISION had the bomb site. And now the bomb's going back to T-spawn. They don't seem to be aware that all three players are in towards CT for Sashi. If they were, they would have got that bomb down ASAP. But now, AW is making his way over towards the B bomb site, and Belchnock is just keeping them interested over towards A. Like, as he falls at the hands of Patty, it's now a foot race.
Yeah, he does overcommit there, does Belchnock on the big wide step out. AW is going to win the foot race into the site, but he doesn't have a guaranteed plant available to him. He's going to fake the plant, but they're running him down, and Patty's arrived on the scene just in time, and, well, James going to be counted out of this one. The problem for PARIVISION on the A site there was that they were just so worried there was going to be someone coming from jungle, cat, stairs. They didn't feel like they really had enough space to confidently plant the bomb. Almost got caught in two minds there. Should have just committed to the full swap back into the B bomb side. Impossible for James now to try and reach back into B. Fantastic crossfire setup. Cabby will land the shot, and Sashi open up their account first.
An interesting decision from PARIVISION. Even when they went towards B, you know, like James didn't exactly go with AW, so when AW went to go plant the bomb, he was complete by himself, and you've hit the nail on the head with the Belchnock overextension. If there was ever a world that crazy 3 versus 3 was able to formulate, it was if Belchnock stayed alive for as long as humanly possible, and if James was more tight-knit with AW. So it's not a great showing for PARIVISION early on. I hope that's not something that continues. It's obviously just a pistol round. You can't really take too much from that. But Sashi, the basement boys, an extended holiday in Kosovo, they're chilling on a boot camp. I guess it's a very
Bit of a stretch, but
big word of using it. But what isn't a stretch is this maybe eco win.
yeah, not anymore. It would have been 15, 20 seconds ago, but they've been able to find 2 quickfire frags in towards Connector. They've also picked up both of those guns as well. No armor in play, so it's not like it's, I'd say it's probably like 50-50 now, even though there is a 2-man advantage for PARIVISION. They're going to shift the focus back through T-spawn in towards the, say, bomb side. And Sashi have not read into this. There were a lot of gamble reads from Sashi on their CT sides earlier on against Xnavi Jr. on both Inferno and on Ancient as well. And they had some really good gamble reads. This time, though, they're going to bet incorrectly. Becky could still be in a really good power position in towards ramp. It's going to be just difficult to displace him from here.
That's I guess how you deal with James. And Becky needs to be careful. Bomb's going to get planted, and there's an A1S on Belchnock on the other side. He just needs to kind of get one of these kills, and I really feel like he was giving Nota way too much respect there. He just had to take the duel and just take the space, but instead gives Belchnock that kill, keeps the advantage for PARIVISION, but Patty has a kit. It's a 2 versus 3, no armor, and AW snatched out the side. Patty needs to get a move on because he needs to get towards that bomb. Issue is, xiELO is currently on it with his knife out, and as it gets tapped, xiELO spam through, now being held. Patty, 15 HP. It's Belchnock's time for to get the knife out, and the dagger connects in the back as PARIVISION win a full eco round.
Well, that is the biggest let-off you're ever going to get here in the series, and it's as early as the second round of the series as well. I mean, they barely even upgraded into any pistols there for PARIVISION. I think there was maybe like a P250, but most of them had Glocks. Oh, Sashi, that is a disaster of the highest order. they're always going to have a tough day in the office here on Mirage, right? This is a map that PARIVISION are super stable on, really comfortable on, both halves. And Sashi, I mean, they would have been really buoyed by winning the pistol, but boy, will this round drop their heads.
It's just such a simplistic, complacent round to be lost by Sashi. And it's not a great look for both sides, I guess, the first 2 rounds. Like, it's been a weird start. I wasn't casting, or I didn't watch the whole of the game yesterday, the TNL versus Sashi. But what I can say for sure is that I know that that third map was riddled with mistakes from Sashi. As in, they could have closed it out way, way sooner. And it was just the whole sentiment of, like, Sashi should be winning this, but they deserve to lose it. And, well, they lost it. And Ancient's also the decider. So there's not only just Ancient's decider as, like, a, ooh, nightmares, haunting, but it's just the sentiment of like how they played in that map. I hope it doesn't carry on to other series. It didn't so far today. They've done, I'd say, pretty well so far, but I think that was a big blemish on their record so far, and I hope that taint doesn't arise again.
Well, I will say it wasn't the case against Na'Vi Jr. early on. They were so sound on Ancients, and it was Na'Vi Jr.'s map pick as well. And PARIVISION, and Sashi, just from start to finish, kind of bossed the affair. 8-4 half initially, went to the T side, won the map 13-4. There were some really big moments from Lucky in particular. Kind of bailed them out of some rounds, must be said. But that has become the expectation with Sashi. I mean, Lucky has been that good. He's been their star on the rifle, super consistent and reliable for this team. I still want more out of Xiphon. I still think that Xiphon could be that star rifler that Sashi requires to just push them over the edge a bit more frequently.
Yeah, because so I was supposed to cast the 1-win Sashi game at the beginning of the tournament, which was ultimately a forfeit win. But the kind of key talking point I had for that was Xiphon needs to come alive because he hasn't. He's had a pretty bad year. And so far this tournament, he's been exemplary. Best form I've seen from him in a long, long time. And you mentioned Lucky had performances earlier today already. Well, that's a deagle shot onto Nota to bring it back to a 4 versus 4 and a spam. Not quite to deny the bomb, but to kill xiELO after he plants it.
Yeah, Belchnok gets a huge kill back, but he's committed. He's not going to be able to fall back to cover. He's going to have to stand and fight, and that's not a problem. He's going to find 3 kills there from Sandwich. Locks down the post plant, PARIVISION string rounds together, and decimates Sashi's economy. You know who else I think's been quietly plugging away for the Sashi team that probably kind of goes a little bit under the radar, but's actually been really good, is Cabby. This guy seems to get, like, vital multi-kills quite frequently. He feels like, I feel like he doesn't take a huge amount of resources, but he still gets a lot of impact done. I think this guy's like a super valuable type of player to have on the team.
Yeah, I mean, just kind of from a glance of statistics in this event, he's been playing fantastic, right? Like, he's up there with Xiphon. But I definitely agree, someone who wouldn't get as much of the kudos as someone like Xiphon or Lucky. My GOAT for Sashi is Becky. I have loved this kid, and I've loved what I've seen from him ever since I first saw him on Preezy Rising about a year and a bit ago.
Calling people kids? Is that even a thing if you're 21? I don't know.
Yeah, but he's younger than me.
Yeah, I know, but you yourself are basically still a little youngin' as well, so I don't think you have that.
I don't know. I feel like
little bro.
I'm in that like weird little middle stage where I ain't a talent anymore. I'm just like I feel like when you're kind of like 16, when you're like 16 to 20, 21, you're like, you kind of still get that like talent thing, like kind of flair. Now I'm just 22.
I mean, continue. You were saying about him in Preezy was where you were kind of picking up on him already.
Yeah, well, so when I first watched him, it was like, okay, individually, you can see he's got it. It's just about the consistency. And I think the main reason for that was because he went from playing main to then when Preezy Rising got promoted to Preezy, they then started to take over the invites because, you know, that's how it used to work then. Orgs get invites. So it was a massive jump up where he just looked bad. And it's like, okay, well, you've got to put it into perspective. And I think at the start of Sashi, he also really struggled, but it's all about the time. And Sashi as an organization put a lot of money behind this roster and have them continuously in boot camp in Denmark, it feels like. So to have someone like Becky on these boot camps as experienced players, I feel like for him, it would do so much more for his career and his progression than it would for anyone else on this roster.
Yeah, and I feel like we've already seen progression from Becky since he's joined this team as well. I've also become a fan of his. I mean, he replaced Altex, right, which is a pretty well-known player, who contributes quite a lot to the team. So I'd say he had like decently big shoes to fill, but there's still room for growth and improvement. But that's saying a lot considering he's been doing some good work. Anyway, big gun round here for Sashi to just try and put a stop to the momentum that PARIVISION finds quite early here off the back of the eco round they won. Been able to work a couple players to the middle into connector, and now they look to split onto A.
No real utility for Sashi. Becky's nade was the penultimate piece of utility. Lucky's got the smoke. There's no kit. So as this bomb gets planted in the 5 versus 5, there's a ticking clock. That means Sashi needs to get a move on. And that's been made pretty difficult as Notta gets Patty down in mid. And the reason why that's such a negative kill is it means Sashi are one-dimensional on their retake if they were to go for it. They'd all just be coming out of connector while PARIVISION has control of every single other primary zone. So understandably, they fall back and they actually save a 4 versus 5.
Yeah, it's probably the right decision to make considering they didn't have a kit or any utility to try and breach back into the A bomb site. Big risk if they do roll the dice and everybody goes down, so instead they'll carry the weapons over and have a full buy to work with in the next. They need to get that AWP on Lucky pronto. I feel like Lucky and Jame actually have pretty similar AWP styles in terms of how they go about the business, in particular on the CT side. Maybe Lucky a bit more active on the T side, but I think that they're both like the guys who like to play the percentage games. They'll go for opening picks, but they won't be super aggressive with the picks that they go for. They're more calculated in their approach. But they need that AWP on the CT side here, mate. That's a fundamental part of the success they've had in this qualifier so far.
Yeah, money hasn't been too pretty for them so far. At least they got some more util, actually. It's a slower paced round for PARIVISION. You can already see that they want to be ending towards B in one way or another. First up, though, it's fake utility towards middle, just to hold Sashi at bay and take away map control they may have. Notta might actually hesitate on throwing this smoke for a little bit longer because of that smoke in apartments, but there it goes towards window. He's making his presence known, and look at how much attention currently is drawn over towards him and away from B.
They did this in the previous round as well, but then they ended up going A, so it's just a change up in direction, but a similar sort of mindset. Yeah, same sort of plan. First player able to get across the window successfully. Second player as well, but Patty is on the scene. He's got support there towards broken wall as well. And PARIVISION is just getting cut down here as they look to enter into this B bomb site.
Lucky's rotation was exactly what was needed. I think Sashi would have had it dusted anyways, but Lucky rotating instantly over towards B is massive. He reads that round like a textbook. And it's ever so much more accentuated by the fact that Sashi were playing double short. They needed that third player to come over, and Lucky was quick as anything. And you were talking about the CT side AWP. Well, Lucky gets it done with the rifle, but now has the luxury of having the big green.
And I was just highlighting how important I thought that would be here for Sashi in the CT side to find some success, get themselves enough rounds to feel competitive. And he now has that weapon at his disposal. Did feel a little bit... It was still always going to be difficult for PARIVISION to get back into the bomb site there. They were kind of relying on most of the eyeballs to be in towards middle, and Sashi had read into exactly what was going on there.
tactical pause from PARIVISION. Getting Jame on the mic to cook something up.
They're going for another gimmicky play here. It's going to be a waterfall out of Palace. Again, same sort of util in towards mid, top mid snipers, a smoking connector as well. Looking to try and draw the focus in towards middle, but there's a timer on this when this can still find success, because that connector player will soon turn away from middle. Oh no, so he goes down the ladder, he catches Becky off guard, and he gets himself a second kill somehow as well.
Timing's really class there. PARIVISION, you were saying they do a similar sort of setup round? Yes, but it's way quicker. About 40 seconds quicker. Those smokes get sent directly at the beginning of the round, and PARIVISION walk out. As you mentioned, they had a ticking timer clock. They had to go before that util faded, because Becky, for instance, Cabby, was just fixated on staring towards connector at that smoke, because there was no information whatsoever. So a really class timing from PARIVISION, and their execute is perfect. Also to counteract the setup that Sashi had put themselves into. To make matters worse, to add insult to injury, Sashi lose every single player on the save.
Yeah, and what makes the timing so good there is that they've actually gone through the Palace smoke to take advantage of the opportunity that they had created for themselves. If they respect that Palace smoke and they wait for it to fade, all the util they had thrown in middle would have faded as well. Sashi would have seen there's nobody home, and they would have had players shift their focus in towards A. So, yeah, really good work there from PARIVISION. Good confidence to go through that Palace smoke. And now they've afforded themselves an opportunity against... well, Nico probably doesn't do it service, because there's upgraded pistols, M4 and an MP9, but James already drawn first blood.
And they double for a second. Patty, fair play, gets one, but in that position, he was never going to get anything further than that. Cabby and Lucky, it's all about damage right now, I suppose. Or, I guess for Lucky, saving the A1S. Don't see a world that Cabby can get a rifle and get away, so it's just ringing off some deagle shots. But no golden connections for him. And hopefully Lucky can save this time.
Well, James got 10 kills throughout the entirety of Mirage against Namiga yesterday, and that was in 23 rounds. He's gotten 10 kills inside H here this time. I said at the top of the game, I said, you don't get James on back-to-back off days. So, Sashi going to have to do this against PARIVISION in good form. Namiga kind of caught PARIVISION on a bit of an off day, and you'll get that when you've made roster changes, right? Especially in the early stages, in the infancy of this team. AW and xiELO have been added quite recently. Good work from Lucky. Should be able to salvage an AK. Or the bomb explosion, is it going to catch him? No, he'll be fine. Terrorists win. Only just. But Namiga did kind of catch PARIVISION on a bit of an off day yesterday. It doesn't look like that's happening again here. It looks like PARIVISION have pitched up in the way we know them to.
Yeah, I was really shocked by PARIVISION yesterday, because the whole shape of that series was that Namiga have kind of just about scraped through, right? Like, they didn't really do, like, it was very touch and go up to that stage in this qualifier, whereas on the duality of things, PARIVISION had looked really sincerely dominant, and James spearheading that effort. And then yesterday it was just abysmal, and it was really actually quite annoying to watch. And especially on train, it's like, okay, they end train and lose train because they try to run out A, which had not worked ever before. So the calls were off, the individuals were off, xiELO was missing some absolute sitters, and then I don't think Nota and AW or Belchok, no one really came to play. So already this is just a big difference from PARIVISION, and Sashi haven't been able to quite grasp it just yet. Wrangle it, that's the right word. This is also a massive change of pace.
And this is the round that we need to see Sashi stand tall and show that they still have it in them to try and keep PARIVISION contained. Lucky has been forced back towards Empty Pillar. He has got support on the way, but it's going to be a while until it arrives. He's dancing around with the open. He does find another kill. It's on Belchanok, and it's going to be an attempted plant coming through from James. Very good timing there from Becky. He catches Nota on the cross and leaves Jamie in what should be an unwinnable clutch, and he didn't notice Patty in towards Market, so he steps out with his knife out, and Sashi will get the job done.
Massive round once again from Lucky on the rotation towards that B-bomb site. Not only is it 2 kills, but it's just survival. He stays alive for way too long. But alongside his success, if I'm not mistaken, as PARIVISION were running up short, they were just being peppered in the side through the connector smoke. It's a small little factor, but it really lowers their HP and hindered their progression, which then also allowed for Lucky to stay alive for a little bit longer. So a fast round for PARIVISION, where they get the opening kills, but they're not able to thread the needle. But once again, fast play, but to other bomb sites.
And it's going to be a good initial entry coming through from them. Yeah, Belchnok has decided he's seen enough in the round. xiELO on the front lines has been able to find himself a second to kind of cancel out that mistake there from Belchnok, regain the man advantage, and then put Sashi on the back foot. Now they're going to consider the retake. We've seen them save in most instances so far. And, well, that's not really an option as we can tell, because James already closing the door in on them.
If they do try save, they ain't getting away. And Xiphon, he's... Oh! I can't tell if that was a nice shot or a pre-aim. Either way, I guess we're wrong. They do get away. But that's the second time Sashi have saved in a position where you're like, probably could have gone for it. Big part of it, no kit. And that's PARIVISION going to 7. And with only 2 rounds left in the half, Sashi got to stop saving and start winning rounds.
Yeah. I mean, they've just won rounds in isolation, right? They haven't been able to string consecutive rounds together yet here on the CT side, so it's very spotty for them. Gonna drop some guns here to try and plug the gaps of FAMAS and an MP9 purchased up to support the weapons that have been carried over. But PARIVISION have already done well to get themselves 7 inside 10. Anything on top of this is gonna be gravy.
Do you mean groovy, or is gravy just a phrase that I'm unaware of?
Yeah, no, so I mean gravy. It's a phrase that means it's like you've already got the meal, the lamb, the potatoes, the veg. It's all nice and freshly cooked, and anything on top is just an extra, right? But you really like that extra.
Ooh. Damn, now I'm hungry. Well, PARIVISION. Don't feel like they're getting the gravy this round, because Becky and Lucky hold down the fort. Every single time Sashi have won a round outside of the pistol has been because Lucky has got at minimum 2 kills. And so far, him and Becky are not done just yet, as the AWPer excels to now 13 frags, whilst his squad are very far behind. And that scoreline for Lucky is crazy when you think of it as now a 4-7 deficit Mirage.
Yeah. He's been finding some superb impact for them, in particular in the rounds that they've been winning. And this one, unfortunately, just really a non-starter for PARIVISION. I thought it was a little bit lazy from xiELO initially. He hadn't even really cleared out ramp when he pushed forward there. You've got to just check your corners a bit more effectively than that. But Lucky, I mean, that was just phenomenal from him with the AWP on the front lines. Not normally we would expect to contest the AWP if you're PARIVISION, and Lucky does the trick. Still feel like they need 7-5 out of this first half. I think anything less than 7-5 is probably going to be too difficult to come back from on the T side.
Counter-terrorists win.
Well, the reason why I think they need 7-5 is just because I want to see them actually put consecutive rounds together. It's not even necessarily the scoreline, it's just, can I see something that gives me a wow factor? Because they've had good rounds, but it's all been because of Lucky so far. And they're also getting 5 on the CT side when they won the pistol round. So 7-5 is a must-need, a must-have. But regardless, it's still going to be very difficult against a CT side PARIVISION on their home turf of Mirage.
Yeah, I'm thinking if they can make 7-5 happen, win the pistol, convert, then the game would be very much alive at that point. Patty not far away from actually connecting 2 more shots onto James there at range. Has no idea that there are 4 players waiting to breach into this B-bomb site where he currently resides on his lonesome. I guess he's got some support on Catwalk from Cabby.
Very deep, though. And where's Lucky? In CT. So the one man who has got 7 kills in the rounds they've won
Is dead.
is dead. So can they do it without Lucky? That's the main question. And so far, Patty and Cabby are holding down superbly. 3 kills for them so far. James is able to trade out 1 with the AWP. This Molotov makes life difficult for Patty. Deals further damage to James, and AW, a madman, possessed, leaps out of market window. Doesn't expect Xiphon to have got so close, but it doesn't matter because neither does Xiphon apparently. He doesn't clear his corner, and it's the young gun Becky who has no attempt in the 1 versus 2 as PARIVISION find 8 on their map pick.
If all they've been saying is true, there's a war before your eyes. Tell me, can you see right through? Right through, right through. Down through the wires and the pipelines. We go disconnecting from the city and the skyline. This is the numbers again. As he turns it, nice headshot.
We're back, and we're getting into the second half of the first map here in the lower bracket final. PARIVISION and Sashi locking horns here on PARIVISION's pick of Mirage, and boy did they deliver the goods in the first half.
A much more convincing performance. I've kind of gone on about how yesterday I was so disappointed, and it's a different story right now. Even at the end, a 2 versus 4 won by Nota and James. I don't quite understand how they won it, but a pistol round here I think would solidify the deal and put PARIVISION most certainly 1-0 up in the series. If Sashi win this, that means they've won both pistol rounds, and yet they trail by 3.
Yeah, that would be peculiar indeed. I mean, of course, they won the pistol to start off the map, but then they lost to a full eco immediately afterwards, and that played a big role in the way that half had kind of played out, and certainly could have gotten more out of it if they were able to convert. But that's a fantastic way to start off in this pistol round here. Becky just destroys Nota. xiELO not able to do anything as they now make their way through Connect up into the safe bomb site, which currently has nobody home.
Bomb plant at a minimum, and it looks like it's going to be a round 1. Cabby at range with the P250. We were hyping him up, saying he has big impact. Maybe he goes under the radar, and especially this tournament has had great stats. But he's sitting on 4 kills. Xiphon, the other one, on 1. So some shots to be connected would be, I think, unnecessary. There's a smoke on the bomb, and AW's got a kit. This was a 4 versus 5 retake. Sashi, they just let it slip through their fingers. That was so meek. That was so easy. What am I watching?
I mean, it was, but let's not forget the impact James is finding in and around that smoke grenade, because he gets 2 very quick frags there that just kind of throws the cat amongst the pigeons for Sashi. At that point, they're starting to panic. Smoke's been dropped on the bomb. They probably can't even hear if anybody's jumped on the defuse or not. And that was the plan for PARIVISION all along when that smoke kit combo was brought up by AW and they leave the A site. They know the plan is, okay, if we retake, we go back through CT with numbers, we just smoke off the bomb, we meat shield up the diffuser, we try and cover him and take as many fights as we can, and we stick the diffuser in the smoke and it works the trick.
Smoke and defuse is kind of overpowered, to be honest, on pistol rounds.
In the pistol, yeah, of course, yeah.
And to be honest, especially when it was like the opening kill. PARIVISION needed that 1 kill, and that's what they got. But Belchnok and James, they've been stars of the show on Mirage. 27 kills combined. That is more than impressive. Bomb down does mean Sashi get a purchase up. Losing this spells disaster, as the Cinderella run could be coming to an end. But I don't want to count my chickens too early.
I feel like people are counting their chickens against Liquid already. And they've had to recount and then recount again a number of times since then. Maybe Xiphon in towards middle to find an opening frag. Good work from him.
He's got twice as many kills on the T side as he did on the CT side. As he got on the CT side.
Fantastic.
It was a low bar.
What's the plan here? PARIVISION look like they actually have a really good idea of what's going on. They don't have to gamble as much as they have. They've decided to basically go all in on their gamble though. They've stacked in on the speed bomb sites exactly where Sashi are going.
This is a crazy read. And Belchnok just getting that first kill basically secures the round. Because as that falls, they're all looking at Belchnok, and then boom, everyone else explodes. They've no way they expected 3, let alone 4 players to be there. And PARIVISION, whatever read that was, is genuinely mental.
Yeah, that is fantastic. And you're right to highlight the fact that Belchnok gets that first kill at range, because it just baits everybody else in perfectly with the way that they're set up on that B-bomb side. It's impossible for Sashi. And they got an opening kill in the pistol. Didn't work out for them. They get an opening kill here in the force fire. Not going to convert into a round either. And they're going to have to eco in the round that follows. I mean, the wheels have almost completely come off here on Mirage for Sashi. And again, it just doesn't feel like they've ever really been in the map so far.
Yeah, this is a tough watch, because I was mentioning that game against TNL in the upper bracket semis where they kind of threw the third map, and the sentiment from Alan Hender there was, it's a tough day to be a Sashi fan. It's a tough day, and it was probably more of a tough day then, because you had the opportunity. It was in your grasp, but so far Mirage, as you mentioned, they've never, it's never been there at all, like in any way, shape or form.
Yeah, it's quite brutal for Sashi that the game has gone down the way it has so far. They're going to go for some upgraded pistols here. Bit of a deagle spread. player apartments, lowers, one top mid, one connector, one one ramp, one palace. And the plan is, this is what I like to call, hey guys, let's all get a dig. If we all get one kill, we win the round. It's that simple, Freddy. I don't know why more people haven't figured it out. This is how it goes.
Spread up and search for clues.
There we go.
I mean, so
clues.
far, someone needs to get 2. That's the issue. Paz didn't get his one.
Okay, well, Xiphon then has to try and find an extra frag. It's not going to happen down to Cabby. He's been removed from the equation as well. Good damage for Sashi, but that's almost like, it's not even a silver lining at this point, mate. It's like a grey lining in the context of the game.
What magic can they conjure up? Jame on his AWP as well.
Crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, just like seeing Jame on the AWP as well is just like, oh, rough. And then not even flashing mids. xiELO, short jump, able to get 1 to 3, not quite 2. Jame actually misses a pretty sitting shot. That was, that should have been a guarantee. And now, he's in a bit of a pickle, because he knows Patty's towards middle. He's exited towards underpass. He's going to be trying to play late and see if he can play off a sound cue from Patty while both of his riflers now transverse towards CT. They also knew the AWP was around stairs, so probably confused where he's gone, but there he's spotted and Patty nails him. Nota and AW, they've got a kit. It's a 2 versus 3. They've been given a lot of space to work with, especially because Lucky almost was just going to go around the world for a second.
Doesn't even look like PARIVISION are going to attempt this, which I'm kind of shocked to see. I guess that's a financial decision being made, but they had a smoke and a kit, and that was enough for them to find success in the pistol round. I will say, I really like James' decision making. I mean, it was a pretty rough shot for him to miss there from stairs into Palace, but then to just push into lowers like that and set himself up on the angle is pretty smart. I'm surprised he doesn't actually just have a little bit more patience there and just remain posted on the angle. Instead he goes searching. He then missed another shot onto Patty as well. More difficult one, to be fair to him, but I still like the decision making there from Jame. I thought that was quite smart.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things where it's like if he connected both of those shots in that round, PARIVISION probably won it, right? Because also him dying in connector, or sorry, in middle, opened up all of that primary zone for Sashi, which then meant the retake was near impossible. If he'd stayed alive, his presence would have been so much more as well. But it's a tactical pause. The first tactical pause for PARIVISION. They're going to try and purchase back up. They've got an AWP. They've got 2 primary rifles. Belch not going to FAMAS. Oh, he also gets an A1S out. And xiELO on the 5.7. So it's... Wait, xiELO has no armor. He's dropped over an AWP and has no armor, Hayes.
Ugh. I mean, I used the term yesterday. It's probably relevant here as well, but he's got the Sanji treatment. He's got the Sanji treatment here under James' leadership. This is what's going to happen occasionally. And he's all by himself on this B bomb side as well. This couldn't be worse for xiELO. Just jump spotting with the smoke grenade. Oh, and they're so heavily lent in towards A right now.
James AWP is on the CT to mid angle. Oh, and of course when I say that he moves. I was going to say it's actually a very good position for him to be in, considering that this mid control. But James struggling to figure out. Yeah, he's struggling to figure out exactly where to go. And PARIVISION shift from that solo B hold to now moving what looks to be 4 over, and it's the right play. This must be a counter strat of something because they're seeing utility and just sending everyone over. And James going to post on this angle. And if Sashi commit to this short play, I don't think this is going to go all too well for them.
Well, AW's been able to go through Palace. He's got some key information, but it's actually going to be a late pivot here from Sashi away from the B-bomb side back in towards A. Okay, so now AW, he's in towards ramp. It's a pretty good position to have right now, but the problem is it's impossible for his teammates to join up with him, and in fact, PARIVISION are just going to call for the save immediately here with all 10 players still alive on the server.
It was a great read from PARIVISION and a great read from Sashi. And it's a gentleman's agreement. xiELO might even get armor next round. Who knows?
Should he be so fortunate? Should Lord James decide?
You're not actually allowed to buy armor until James lets you.
Yeah, hey mate, am I allowed to, you know, get myself some armor here?
For-
The thing is, what's
for me?
crazy is I remember xiELO was just like a madman on guns. He was the guy who was always getting the hero rifles. He was the guy who was always being dropped whatever weapon they had
Sashi.
available in. And they've just picked him up and said, yeah, great, you've done fantastically well. We're going to pick you up here. We're going to give you an opportunity to play in the big time. And we're going to completely change what you were doing so well. It's going to be tough, but yeah, it's what you get, I guess, when you play in the James team, right? Comes with the territory.
Yeah, when you're the new kid on the block, you kind of have to... It's the lay of the land, as one might say. But xiELO, he is so fortunate enough to not only get armor, but a rifle in this round. James nades the smoke and does more damage to himself than he has against someone with an AWP in this half. And is there ever a conversation for Sashi in a comeback? Let's say if they win this gun round, and PARIVISION are probably going to be on like a lower purchase. This could be 11-8, and there's a very clear vision for it.
I think they were 10-4 down on Inferno against ex-Navi Junior, and they actually won that map in overtime. So I've seen them with a very impressive comeback already today. That was on their map pick, to be fair. If they can do that here on T-side Mirage against PARIVISION, then that would take the cake. I'm going to go ahead and say no. I'm almost guaranteeing that PARIVISION should be able to get the job done for me. I'd be shocked if they couldn't.
And look at this setup. This setup is perfect for it. Yeah, the timing's magnificent. Wow. xiELO. He had 1 kill at the half, remember? He's still only sitting on 6. But that's massive impact from him right there. Patty will get caught off in no man's land. He hung around for a little bit too long. And because Belchnock has been able to acquire that frag, it means the retake is on.
Oh, it certainly is. James scoped up, edging his way forward. Becky on the opposite side, just jiggling the corner. James is going to catch a glimpse, and he's taking the frag. It's now only xiELO left. He's had a very quiet map so far. That will all be forgiven if he's able to lock down the 1v2 clutch. The problem is he's never going to be expecting Belchnock to come through from apartments. I say that. He does give it a bit of a glance. James doing everything he can to try and pull the attention away from apartments, and there we go. It works perfectly.
Such a difficult position for xiELO to be in. But to be honest, he just has to commit somewhere.
And
Staying
gamble,
where he was, I actually don't see the benefit of that position really at all anywhere. Because if you're an AWPer for James and you come around the corner, you're probably pre-aiming that spot anyways. So I think for xiELO, that's just a really sticky situation to be in, where he has to do something, and the nerves maybe get to him a little bit. But agreed, he's supposed to be the star player of this show. He came in with a lot of high expectations. He's not performed whatsoever this year, but in ESL Pro League close qualifiers, he's been playing out of his mind. Unfortunately, in this elimination game when it matters the most, he's sitting dead bottom on the scoreboard. He's actually made his way over and towards Battle Room, but his teammates are scrimmaging out over towards the A-bomb site, and it's not been the most successful proceedings for them, but xiELO's got a timing. They don't expect him to be here because there also wasn't any utility in mid. So xiELO catches xiELO off guard, and xiELO has no idea how he's got there.
Oh, hang on though. AW is going to be able to cross towards the market door here. xiELO holds down the line, not able to come out on top of that fight though. Does do damage, but AW lives to tell the tale. Problem is, it's basically a 1v2 for AW because James is on the polar opposite side of the map, and AW continues to lock it down. Cabby desperately trying to force this fight now and isolate the Jules to the best of his ability. The longer he takes, the closer James gets, but AW won't even require James' services because he does it all on his own.
You said it was a 1 versus 2. He isolated the 1 versus 1s. He played that perfectly, but at the same time, Sashi gave him 3 1 versus 1s on that B-bomb site and with a whimper. So I'm coming into Ancient, and I'm just hoping for a little bit more something. Like, they've beaten Liquid. They've beaten Fnatic. They held their own significantly against TNL. They should have won that series. They beat Xnavi Jr. And in map 1, it was just very disappointing, all things considered. And Ancients, they have done well already today, but PARIVISION so far in this qualifier have played it 3 times and have won it every single time they've played it. Sorry, it's Inferno. What am I on about?
Well, it is Inferno indeed, and it's going to be a big push down middle coming through from Sashi, looking to try and assert themselves early on. Belchanok wants to punish, and he does find a kill, but that's a phenomenal trade from Becky on the fadeaway. Now the focus shifts in towards the speed bomb side. Cabby wants to take the fight on his terms. He steps on in, and then steps on out of the round.
It's not great seeing Sashi already be on the back foot from this pistol round, because if you cast your mind all the way back to the beginning of Mirage, they won the pistol round, and they got 5 rounds in the half because they lost the decider, the conversion straight away. So I'm looking at this start, and it's just already from bad to worse for the Danish side. They're going for the reticks. There is a kit, but as soon as it gets picked up, it gets dropped right back down again.
Alright, well, PARIVISION pick up here on Inferno where they'd left off on Mirage. Of course, this is Sashi's map pick. Saw some good work from them on this map earlier today when they played against Xnavi Jr. I mean, they'd actually fallen quite far behind the pace of the game there in that particular matchup. They were down 10-4, if I recall correctly. Let me just quickly confirm that. Yeah, they were down 10-4. They had a 8-4 half on their T side initially, and then they were down 10-4 on their CT side, and they won the map ultimately in overtime. So already seen a good CT side from them. That's where they're going to start off here against PARIVISION, and that kind of gives me an inkling that this is where we need to see them do most of their work.
To be honest, that's not a great sign to me that they've already played this map once today. They've picked into it again, but that previous showing wasn't smooth sailing. It is potentially a little bit worrying. Yeah. They are going to force back into this. Patty's got a CZ, by the way. You don't see that all too often. He's got that over towards B, where they've got multiple smokes to blockade PARIVISION, who do look like they want to come towards B. But as mentioned, they're just stuck behind this fog right now.
Yeah, there's quite a lot going on here in the round because Cabby's gone through apartments all the way through T apps, but he's got a whole lot of false information because PARIVISION have woven their way through middle, been able to find the gap, and they push onto the say bomb site. Now, is he going to be able to catch anybody? Yeah, it doesn't look like he's going to get any favorable timing. Perhaps Becky will, though. Coming through, no. Nota will keep his teammate alive, and that should be enough to seal the round.
Yeah, Cabby just gets that information. They've left Banana. Unfortunately, way too late. He doesn't do anything inherently wrong in the round. It's exactly what you're saying. It's misleading information because they've just navigated so easily past him by accident. This round is still alive somehow, though. Patty is able to trade out AW. That's an AK that he can pick up from Cabby's dead body.
This has got to be
if he
for
can
extra
find
kills.
it.
Looking to inflict damage right now because there's no way for them to win the round. There's no time left, and they will at least be able to find 4 kills in the process of losing the round. But again, it's not much to write home about. But they're still going to have to eco in this next round.
I'm quite perplexed at where that AK went because Cabby picked up an AK. So only God knows where it ended up. Damage was at least inflicted. So if you're looking at silver linings, if you look at the value of the round, MP9's got quite a few kills. That's $600 a pop. And you forced a lot of reinvestment onto 4 players. So if you are able to maintain that damage into this low buy eco round, then at least in the next gun round, if you do win that, theoretically, PARIVISION will be set to square one. There's currently a 4-man lean over towards Banana, with Lucky solo towards A, and they're just swinging for the fences.
I mean, there's a lot of information gained in the process there for AW because he sees so many players pushing forward, so he can relay that through to his teammates and say, get a move on over into A, fellas. It's exactly what they do, but they push into the Deagle of Lucky, which comes away with the kill. And at this point, damage is meaningful. PARIVISION don't have an anti-eco after this to try and make up for the damage that would be inflicted. Belchnock does well to get a kill and then get out of dodge.
Seems like it's going to be a gentleman's agreement. Patty's going to be in the exact same position he was last round, looking for damage. MP9, just be a bit of a nuisance at range. Make life uneasy for them. He could bring down... Yeah, so Nota's dead here. And so is James. You know what? That's a hell of a result. Patty doesn't get either of the kills, but he brings 2 down with him. So that's PARIVISION only keeping 1 player alive in back-to-back rounds. So sure, Sashi haven't won a round, but they've set themselves up in a very good position for the long run.
Problem is, it only means anything if they can win this gun round here.
Yeah, that's... yeah.
That is the sort of asterisk, that's required here. Let's see if they're going to be able to make it happen. They've got the AWP unlucky. Got to start to find some success here and now if you're Sashi. First gun round of the map. Didn't really ever get going on Mirage. Can't allow for PARIVISION to get too far ahead before they start to come alive here on Inferno. And look at the gamble, by the way. They've left Lucky by himself without any utility over towards this B bomb site. And AW's crossed. It's going to be xiELO who pays the price, but Lucky will still get chased down anyway. That's ruthless from AW.
Yeah, massive trade frag. And it's so important because Lucky was the only defender here. So as soon as he falls now, the B bomb site opens up for the taking. The rotations are very swift. Look, there's 3 players here from Sashi, rearing to go. They're gagging it a bit, but unfortunately, yeah, what can you do? You're stuck behind a smoke, nades are landing on your noggin. This is unfortunately a round where I feel very difficult for Sashi to make their way in. They do have some utility, and that's going to get expended. Molotov towards dark flushes no one out. Smoke Smoke Banana does neutralize 2, but AW, who's close range in coffins, is able to smite 3 as they try and attempt to approach.
That's insane from AW, because his role, his job there, is to take contact and then allow for his teammates to either get the trade or step out and help him in the fights. He just does it all by himself, on the front lines, gets 3 kills there to shut down the retake. I respect that Sashi actually attempt the retake this time around. We've seen them save a lot in the series already. This time they're thinking, well, we can't just continue to save. Eventually we have to roll the dice. Hasn't worked out though. And the one issue, the one qualm I have with that round for Sashi is that I don't mind that they left Lucky by himself, but he needs some sort of crowd control util. He needs either an incendiary or a smoke to buy time for the rotations.
You're back out at least, and Lucky, he hit the shot last time, but this one occasion, not so lucky. And it's AW. He's a bloodhound. Opens up on Patty. If Lucky had connected the shot, it'd be not a man's advantage, but a man advantage for Sashi. And instead, PARIVISION, they've heard the AWPs over towards B. They've got an advantage. They've got the utility to work with. And it looks like they're just going to keep things simple. They're just going to go in. And Lucky's actually already started rotating away. xiPhon drops a smoke, but, well, they've already got onto the bomb sites.
Oh man, PARIVISION are just keeping this so simple right now. It's really effective. xiPhon's going to get peppered through the smoke there by Nota. And PARIVISION are going from strength to strength. They're going to be 8 rounds away from that consolidation final. They're just steamrolling this matchup right now.
Mission save AWP. So far, so good. But we're talking about these rounds with Sashi and we're like, oh, good damage. Oh, good save.
I know.
It's hard to then do that the whole game, you know?
That's what I was saying. I kind of defined it, or I was like, it feels like a gray lining at this point. It's not even a silver lining.
Yeah, it's just kind of like a, yeah.
5-0. This gun round carries so much weight for Sashi, so it makes sense that they'd call for a pause here, give Hunden an opportunity to potentially relay some thoughts and feelings. Maybe we see a bit more of a contest in towards Banana. PARIVISION have been keen to contest Banana every single round so far, so maybe we see 3 players head that direction for Sashi. It's something they did a few times against Na'Vi Jr. They were very good at disrupting Banana control, and we're yet to really see that here against PARIVISION.
Yeah, I was going to say, they have had people there, and they have had Lucky posted up. Have they actually ever taken Banana? Like, you know, properly dropped the deep smoke, dropped the mollos, dropped the nades, had that dance of utility. It's felt like they've given a lot of respect, but still, we are early on. We've only seen, like, 2 gun rounds max. But we're back on it. And it's going to be that 3v play you were calling for. The question is, how hard did they go for this take? First off, it's just going to be nades. But I'm looking at Cabby. He seems like he wants to be setting up his teammates. But instead, they actually just smoke off top Banana for now. Oh, it's a top Banana flash Cabby's holding.
Yeah, PARIVISION didn't commit to Banana initially, but they have still been able to get a few players in position, waiting for the util to fade here from the CT side, and then they're going to make their move. And Sashi are happy to forego the control.
Cabby's doing this dance of will I go, will I stay? He is going to return, and maybe at the nick of time. Xiphon gets the first. Patty tries to swing through the smoke, but it's ineffective, and Xiphon just swings out with his USP. Do they expect Cabby to be here? The third player, the third instrument of the defense, and he runs out of bullets. Nota survives on 7 HP. And Sashi, they try to go for a retake top Banana, but then PARIVISION are already in position, so as soon as that mollo gets unsheathed, they jump.
Oh man, it's such good timing. I'm loving the changes, the slight variations in the timings from PARIVISION here as well. Very difficult to try and force fights into PARIVISION. Kind of took their time initially in that round, didn't commit to Banana. Just scale their way forward, wait for the util being thrown by the CT side to dwindle. Start to move even further forward. Just good awareness even when they do push back into that B-bomb site, not getting caught off by the extra players, covering all their bases. They're looking like they're in red hot form right now. 6-0. Game getting away from Sashi very quickly.
Terrorists win.
It's just another gun run where you sit back and you're like, Like, the idea was there for Sashi. You can see that it's orchestrated in a pretty sound way, but it's just the execution. Lucky also was just unable to put any impact into that round. So wouldn't mind seeing him trying to maybe get a little bit aggressive. That's exactly what's going to happen. Cabby's storming down mid. Lucky's providing overwatch. He's able to snipe one down. And Cabby is just charging. The smoke Banana drops after he's got that first kill. And AW's like, this guy can't be a madman. There's no way he runs down the whole of middle. Guess what? He is.
Yeah, I love that from Sashi. Just brute forcing their way into the round here. Great confidence on display. The thing is, that's not replicable, right? That just has to be something that kickstarts their campaign and kind of gets things underway, gets some fire in the belly here for Sashi. Can't expect to continue win rounds in that fashion.
We used to call that Captain Jack Sparrow.
Okay.
Because he's the best goddamn pirate the seas has ever seen, and you have to sing the as you're running down mid.
I mean, I feel like that would be funny the first, second, maybe third or fourth time, but might wear off eventually.
You'd be so surprised at how small brain we are.
How easily entertained.
So you could just do the smallest thing, like funny. Every single time. But it works really well. And the issue Cabby has there is that they also throw the banana smoke, or the kind of like bottom banana smoke, but they throw it's either they threw the late one, because there's 2 you can throw, and one lands like way quicker, or he scaled maybe a little bit awkwardly, because when you're doing that play, the issue you always kind of have is that bottom banana smoke, because you need it to be up. Luckily, in this occasion, Lucky's able to get that kill deep, but I think Cabby kind of gets away with the fact that it does land so late that no one really challenged them. Because if he did get challenged, I think he just dies from T-spawn. But either way, hey, it's a gimmick that gets Sashi around.
It does. It kind of felt like PARIVISION was just never expecting him to continue to commit there, because they saw him initially, but they almost just wrote him off at that point. They're like, oh yeah, he's not going to be much of a problem, but he just kept running at them. And you're right, like that's what I was saying as well. It's not like that's something that they can continue to try and abuse and exploit to win rounds, but it could be something that just ignites their CT side here. It has to be. I mean, did they win any consecutive rounds on Mirage, Freddy? I don't think that they did, you know. I think all their rounds came in isolation.
At the end.
Yeah, okay, at the end they got a couple, but they can't afford for that to happen here at all on Inferno. They've got to be on the money here and get things going. They've got to string some together early on.
Yeah, so the whole of the CT side, they didn't win a single one in consecutive form, and then they won 2 in a row on the T side, but then they lost 2 in a row and lost the series. So Sashi just needs to remember how to win, maybe. They've won 7 rounds across this series so far, and we're getting too close for comfort. We're getting to that stage where it's like 2 or 3 more rounds, and I think PARIVISION have already put themselves a spot into the consolidation final.
Yeah, it does start to feel that way, especially considering what I've mentioned already, the fact that Sashi struggled so much on their T side against X-Navi Jr. earlier. It was their CT side that had bailed them out, but that's not the case here.
I'm going to go back to the point I made at the start of this map of Sashi have had this just phenomenal run. Don't put an asterisk over all of that by just bottling out massively against PARIVISION here. Like, don't undermine your performance in this qualifier by this one game that eliminates you when it's just so poor. At least go out with a little bit of... At least go out in a blaze of glory if you are.
Yeah,
they've brought down some massive names. Yeah, it's so anticlimactic for this Cinderella story. But this A defense, it's going to be pretty good. Xiphon's rotated in, and they've missed the motor smoke.
Cabby loves his position here on towards default. He's going to be able to find a frag for 3. His teammates getting their job done as well. And PARIVISION has just run into a brick wall here over on the, say, bomb side. And it's going to be lucky to wall bang Belchnock. It's only James left remaining, and he's only got one thing on his mind.
Yeah, no motor smoke is a bit of a sticky one. Obviously, Xiphon doesn't get any of the kills. It's all down to Cabby and Lucky. But if there was a little bit of congestion, it meant that Xiphon's rotation into that bomb site, because he came kind of around the corner of arches as the flashes were being thrown. So if there was a need for him, he would have been there. But they didn't even need that, actually. So the motor smoke didn't even really matter. That angle you said Cabby loves, he holds a really nice spray transfer. And when they knew Belchnock was in mini pit, Lucky was like, screw it, let me deal with him.
Yeah, it's something that Sashi actually did very well against Navi Jr. Notice how they had 4 players on that A bomb site. It's not like they had deep banana control and it was like guaranteed that PARIVISION were going A. It was a bit of a read. It was a good stack from them. Having the extra players there did make a difference in the end. It was just way too much for PARIVISION to try and deal with on the entries. And I think that PARIVISION will realize, okay, we can't afford to just not have any banana control before we try go A. That's too easy for Sashi.
Consecutive rounds, baby. Ooh, that's a big nade on the patty. AW he's been here before and he's just thrived. Send him in around the corner. He doesn't see anyone, but his presence alone puts Patty on to 25 HP.
And immediately the change up, exactly as I was talking about in the previous round. They didn't have this little soiree into banana, and so Sashi was just super confident to rotate that extra player into A. And it looks like they might do just that again. They've left Xiphon with a full belt of utility, all by his own over on B.
And he, by the way, has just self-flashed himself top banana while solo B with a full belt of utility.
Love that.
He'd previously thrown the retake smokes, but yeah, Xiphon, who's got like less than 10 kills this whole series, is playing
the smoke and molly combo there though.
It's the retake. Yeah, the mollo seems a little bit unnecessary. But Xiphon, again, is what I mean. Only defender, doesn't even reload as well. He turns that corner with 15 bullets, gets a kill, drops a W to now 3 HP, and gets away with 1 singular hit point, and they're being sent into Lucky.
Yeah, that is a ridiculous round from Xiphon. There's so much that could have gone wrong there, but it all works out for him. So I guess if it worked, it had to have been the right thing to do. And PARIVISION are going to just have to call it a day here. Save with these 3 remaining players left alive. And Sashi start to claw their way back here. They start to make this one look a whole lot more competitive as they win 3 rounds in a row.
These rounds have looked good. They look very good.
Counter-terrorists win.
There must be some sort of read for Sashi, where when they get top banana control, it just sends PARIVISION to A. Because they've been very, like, oh, we don't have banana control, but because we've put down this utility, 4A. So there must be some sort of read there, I'd assume, from Hunden. So it does seem a little bit unorthodox to put that retake util down at like a minute 10 and go, okay, 4A.
Yeah, it does seem to be a bit of a tendency right now. It's quite fearless from Sashi as well. It's not like there's no pressure or presence in towards Banana, and that's the reason they rotate the extra player. Lucky is here right now as well. Wally's going to be forced attacking to remain committed, but that's not a problem for him. First frag found, great support flash comes through from Siphon. Yeah, that enables Patty to get both and stifles the round single-handedly.
That's the first time that I think Sashi have actually thought top banana and won. Normally, AW just rockets around the corner and gets 1 or 2. Even in the previous, when they won the round, AW still got all the control of top banana and he won the damage contest. So this is certainly a step in the right direction for Sashi. By the way, what a crazy flick from James there, but unfortunately it's just a leg shot onto Cabby. And Sashi are building their way back into this first half.
Yeah, evidently, man. This is going to be 6-4. Next round should be an answer. 6-5 right for the taking. And it's not like these rounds have been particularly close either. And we were highlighting how that very aggressive push down middle at 6-0 might have been enough to just try and kickstart this game for Sashi, and that's exactly what it's done. Round after that, they have a big stack on the A-bomb site. They find success there. Then they're able to funnel PARIVISION back into A after they defend top banana. This round here, they win the top banana fight out quite early, so very nice improved signs coming through from Sashi here on their CT side.
I like how they're hunting Belchnock as well. Don't let him survive. Make sure he falls, and they do so very cleanly as well. Becky, he's had a very tough game. He's really impressed me with his performance so far in this tournament, especially against Liquid. Maybe the best opponent he's ever played in official, and he's like a duck to water, which is crazy for someone who seriously struggled when they first joined Sashi. I've got such high hopes for him. It's all about just finding his groove, and you can see this. You can see the glimmers, more than glimmers of it in this tournament. But performances like this, not only on Inferno but also Mirage, it's unfortunate to see because he's still, you can tell, got a little bit more to learn.
I mean, that's just not surprising though, right? Like, no one could have expected that not to be the case by this stage. It's what you get when you pick up a rookie. Got to give him time to really come into his own and realize his potential. PARIVISION have decided against going for the eco to buy up in the last. They're going to persist with a couple forces here. But that means Sashi have a really good chance at actually making this 6-all.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of this buy. I don't think so. They're going to be going towards B.
If they had saved, they would have got a full buy in the next. So it is
a bit peculiar. And they're just going to try pop towards B. Do they have 2 smokes on banana and a mollo and a flash. Sashi do have a big absence of map control though. There's a really good re-smoke at 40 seconds. That's going to force PARIVISION through most likely, and they don't have a nade to deal with it. Xiphon's also holding a pretty nifty flash that if they start coming forward, that flash is going to destroy them. Belchnock, this is the sign that it's about to be a B hit. He's putting some pressure towards middle, and if anything, it's actually moved Lucky closer towards B. He's already in rotation. Set up towards B's changed a little bit. They've boosted behind triple. The Molotov forces them away, but out in the open, they're able to at least get 2. Finally dropped by the Tech 9s. Lucky's here on the scene, but he's unable to put pen to paper as the bomb will now be planted, and they're forced into a retake.
Okay, good work from PARIVISION, trying to sell the fake over towards A, and then a big exec into the B bomb site with really good util usage makes a difference. the molly to flush those two players out into the open. Retake has a really good chance of being completed here for Sashi though. Fresh smoke in towards top banana. They got flashes, they've got kits.
That nade. Ooh, it missed the mark. I don't think it actually went into the corner. That would have killed xiELO. And they at least confirm his positioning. But James shoots Cabby in the back of the head. And Becky coming through as the final player. It was a 1 versus 3. And that round falls apart. We said we hated the purchase for PARIVISION. But it works out in their favor.
Well, let me tell you, xiELO is the hero of that round, and he came into that round 1 for 10. He had 1 kill to his name in the, 10 rounds we had played prior to that. He gets a mammoth triple kill there in that round. 2 quick-fire kills with the Tech 9 to get control of the bomb site, and then even a frag in the post plant as well. Fantastic work out of him to guarantee at least a lead. At the bare minimum, a 2-round lead for PARIVISION going into that second half. Win this, they turn it into 4.
It's rough because Sashi had been looking pretty good, and especially that B defense, but it's that one singular Molotov towards triple in the previous round, and the reposition from Sashi to go from a coffin site setup to a double triple that ultimately is their downfall. 1 Molo is all PARIVISION had, and okay, speaking about util and Molotov, AW is pushing through 1. He thought he had a timing, but Xiphon and Patty, I don't know how, but are able to man the ship.
That's ridiculous. I mean, that could have gone either way, and I reckon the entire round, the outcome of the round here, is dictated and determined by that skirmish. That 2v2 in towards the top of banana. Patty gets both the kills. Turns around into a 5v3, gives Sashi every chance here to close the gap going into the second half.
This is the type of setup that Sashi used last time and it worked. But this Molotov is going to land on Cabby. It's going to reduce his ability of movement. Xiphon on a headshot angle goes with him. Patty swings before Cabby puts out his flashbang, and it is all fallen apart. Miscommunication, misaim. Sashi, they crumble at the seams. It felt like they were manning a comeback. They lose to the Tech 9s. They even have a 2-man advantage in this round, but it all falls apart. And Becky, who was in a 1 versus 3 last round, he couldn't sustain that. There's no way he gets himself into it, and Belchnook denies any worry as PARIVISION, they are surging towards a 2-0 victory and eliminating Sashi.
I was in the corner sweating till the lights came. Man, don't ever sleep, step out on this night train. Right brain, man will blow your mind like a migraine. I was busting up these spots, pulling something out my socks. Man was shuffling out of blocks, phone and vibrate. I don't need to talk to Frank, I did it my way. Never slipping, never tripping, never violate. We don't gas around here, we on a higher rate. We don't do no talking round here. We don't play no games round here. We ain't never slipping round here. This another level, this one over here is very rare. We don't do no talking round here. We don't play no games round here. We ain't never slipping round here. This another level, this one over here is very rare.
Lately, I feel I can't find my feet. Pushing closer, my heart skips a beat, and now I'm falling deeper than a fly. I can't control it. Dark against the sky, it's not so black and white. It's like I told him. There's things that I can't fight. I just keep going. I just keep going. In my time, I've been dreaming of a space to really fill my place. I wish he'd seen what I had dreamed. Before these darker days, I thought I found my way. Quickly fades, losing the race, closing the page.
Off the back of a ridiculous Belchnok quad kill, PARIVISION do indeed get 8-4 out of the first half. It was looking like Sashi might have been on course to recover 6-all at one point, but some PARIVISION heroics do get 2 extra rounds at the end of the half, and they're now just 5 rounds away from it.
5 rounds away, and they're in red hot form. The fact that they're able to end off that half with 2 rounds on the trot, also 2 rounds they had no right in winning either of them. Confidence is going to be sky high for PARIVISION, and Sashi in their basement in Kosovo in a unexpected boot camp. We're going to do something special. This pistol round's a good start. Becky opening kill onto James. He's been put in some very difficult situations on the CT side, but he will also get instantly dropped afterwards. But he did his job. He did his work. He gets that opening kill and made sure that the Molotov survived, so it was able to get placed onto Belchnok's position. PARIVISION, in classic fashion, could you guess who's at IGL? They're saving on the pistol round.
Yeah, I mean, you got Kevlar, no AW, but if you look as well, xiELO literally has nothing to save. You've got nothing in the game. Taking his way falling back. He's going to be looking to try and see if he can take 2 pairs to a great focus. There we go, we'll be able to find 1 frag, tapping away, Zyphon will come out on top of the jewel. Sashi will win this pistol round as was required.
Okay, this is the mandatory, if there's ever hope and dream of Sashi coming back into Inferno, it starts right here, right now. It would have certainly been a lot nicer to end off that first half a little bit hotter, because they set themselves up for success, but then couldn't build upon those foundations. It was like a tower of cards that just all came crashing down in front of them. But an 8-5 scoreline, if they're able to counteract this force spy, that's 7-8, most likely. That's a 1-round game. Win that gun round, boom, you got the lead.
Yeah, that is the equation, but it's a difficult equation to try and balance out for Sashi, and the first step is against the force spy.
It is and it isn't. Because I've seen it so often, right?
I know, but when you look at what's happened in the series so far, it is.
True. They've just given me a little bit more to hope at the end of that second half, but that's why I said they end it so poorly. There's currently 3 players towards B. Zyphon is running and gunning. Spots 2, deals with 1. xiELO tears out his head, but it's AW who comes through the CT smoke. He's juggling around SMGs, but Cabby catches off James, so it's still a 3 versus 3, and the bomb's disengaging. They're going over towards A, and Belchnok is still waiting. Top brackets, but he's scared. CT mid, where do I look?
Yeah, he's in a really difficult position right now. He's going to hear the footsteps of these players charging up middle. Peeks out, and he will catch one. That's the bomb, yeah, but thankfully it's been thrust forward, so Becky can recover the C4. Steps heard into library as well for Belchnok. He knows that Becky's planting the bomb, so perhaps he can isolate the duel with the library player. Flash not going to blind Belchnok up. Still remains in the corner. Oh no! Cabby doesn't expect that. He thinks he's wrapping around archers. It's now all on Becky, and another clutch to save the day for Sashi. How have they ended up in this position again? And he's going to go down completely overwhelmed. PARIVISION win the force.
I don't know if it's an issue with Becky or if it's an issue with Sashi, because that's the third 1 versus 3 Becky has been put into in the last 4 rounds. That's a crazy statistic, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it
and
is.
And from those
yeah.
1 versus 3s, he's only found 1 kill. So, but to be fair, like, they were all unwinnable clutches.
Oh yeah,
but it's more
it's
the
not
sentiment.
like any of them were gifted to him.
Yeah, it's more the sentiment though of just like, what's
How's it all with
happening?
him?
Yeah, like, what's
Yeah.
happening to make it always him? Is it a Becky thing or is it a Sashi thing? On the CT side, it was because he was the A anchor, right? He was just rotating B every round. And I think that was an unlucky coincidence. But I don't know what... Was it Cabby coming out of Library there? Like, what's he doing?
Yeah.
What's he doing?
I mean, I think he's just misread the situation. He's thinking that Belchnok's wrapping around archers, I suppose.
Clear the
Just a
corner.
big oversight from him. Yeah, I know. You don't even necessarily have to go back into the site. It was a bit of a gamble to try and do that even. It's happened again to Sashi, man. They win the pistol in the first round on Mirage. They lose to a full eco. They win the pistol round to start off their T side here, lose to the Force. And now they have the full eco themselves. It's going to be an easy cleanup for xiELO. Finds himself a multi. Nota gets in on the act as well. PARIVISION get themselves a double vision.
This feels reminiscent to Mirage when Sashi won the pistol and then lost the half 4-8 and were unable to string any rounds consecutively. It feels like history is repeating itself, and this time they don't have a map buffer. They're on their map pick, staring down not only the barrel of defeat in the series, but elimination from this tournament. They've made it so far. You have to give them their credit and their kudos for their success, but to go out in this type of environment, 13-6 and then potentially even 13-5 is very disappointing.
Yeah, it's going to be a very underwhelming way for them to try and, punctuate this campaign. Perhaps they still have some life left in them. They have got AKs to work with here, a sprinkling of utility as well. Everything relying on this round. All of their hopes of remaining in the contest rest on this round here. It's been some long days for them, Freddy. Lots of Counter-Strike played, lots of highs, not so many lows. A lot of energy expended over these past few days. How much do they have left in the tank? Is there enough?
Yeah, because you got to understand as well, they came from playing with Team Denmark at ISF. They were also playing the Exort. They had ISF, and then they go straight from that into this qualifier.
Yeah.
They've played 4 best of 3s in 3 days. Which actually, to be fair, for this tier of Counter-Strike isn't actually that much anymore. But this
but
round,
the thing is,
at
it's
least
against a very high level of teams, right?
Very
You're not
high
getting any
level,
prep
yeah.
time.
Yeah, like, I mean, they kind of had the luxury of getting a freebie versus 1 win. But that would have also been prep time that they'd done into that game that then just kind of got lost. Because 1 win didn't check in on time, which is a crazy thing, by the way.
I know.
But then, like, yeah, they're playing against the best teams in Europe, and they've held their own. But they played a lot of Counter-Strike over the last 7 days, and it's understandable that it might get to them, especially playing currently in a different environment to what they'd usually be in. They're in probably not the most ideal position, being in an internet cafe in the basement in Kosovo, which, if I'm not mistaken, TNL are also at that exact same location, or at a different internet cafe in Kosovo, because they were also competing in the ISF European Championships. So both
they made it to
teams
the
are in the
final.
exact same cap.
Yeah, it's a good point that you make, and they're both playing in the qualifying. They've both made a pretty deep run here as well. The one thing I will say about this campaign for Sashi, regardless of how it ends here, whether it's 2-1, 2-0, even if they lose this game, they must have amassed a healthy amount of VRS points from this outing, beating teams like Fnatic, Liquid, Na'Vi Junior. So that's definitely going to be a very good injection into this next season for them.
Yeah, the issue is online games. So sometimes winning just a handful of these online games actually don't have massive weight to the modifier, because VRS really centers around bounty collected as well through, sorry, not bounty collected, but prize pool collected. So the fact they're not winning any prize pool from this actually does have a big hindrance on the VRS they've gained. And as I said, it being online, but nonetheless, they're beating teams. They're punching above their weight.
Way above.
If I'm not mistaken, they are the lowest ranked team in this event.
No, they were the 15th out of 20 teams, or 16th out of 20 teams on the VRS ranking coming in.
Yeah, so
they're the lowest
very
ranked
low.
at this stage, yeah. But they beat Liquid the highest rank, they'd be
So that would
Fnatic,
surely,
the 5th
yeah.
highest rank, you know, by VRS, Fnatic got the 2nd highest rank. So they've beaten the top 2 VRS ranked teams in this competition already.
As well, beating Liquid, if I'm not mistaken, it matters who Liquid beat, and because Liquid have beaten quite big names, that then affects how much Sashi gets. So
They've
a lot of
actually
positives.
beaten the top 3, mate, because X-Navi Jr. are the 3rd highest ranked team from the VRS
Oh.
competition. So
Yeah.
that's quite something for Sashi if you think about it in that way.
I should
Massive
give them
scopes.
give them the Pro League spot.
Yeah, slow down there. Probably, I'm not as charitable as you, clearly.
Hey, but imagine this. 10-5 down on your map pick. Demolished so far in the series. Come back,
Come
win
back,
Inferno.
win the map,
Take it
win
to
the
Ancient.
decider.
Win
Oh,
that.
no.
Go through the consolidation final. Go to the final being played on the exact same day. qualify for the Pro
And then
League.
you wake up.
No, whatever. Listen, yeah, but people were
And then
saying
you
this
wake up.
when they played against Liquid.
I know, that's
Sashi
true.
is-
I've been writing them off every game they've gone
Yeah.
into so far, and they've
I'm-
proven me
I'm a
wrong every
believer.
time.
They've
Alright,
got some. They've also got some support in the scoreline because PARIVISION are only on 10, right? So it's not like they're on 12 or 11, which is it feels so much easier when you're looking at 10-6. And alongside that, this is now 2 rounds in a row where Sashi have just won the round, and they've
Yeah.
got 1 kill across 2 rounds. And as of now, it looks like they're about to win both of them.
Yeah, PARIVISION are thinking we're just going to go for gamble stack after gamble stack. If we gamble incorrectly, we save with most of our players. Excuse me, we save with most of our players, and we continue to get buy rounds. If we call it correctly, we only have to win 3 rounds from here to win the series. They're thinking they should be able to gamble correctly at least 3 times in the rest of the half, but it is dangerous thinking, man. And this is so good for Sashi's economy as well when you're trying to make a comeback.
Terrorists win.
James is 5 for 6, by the way. We've played 17 rounds of Counter-Strike. Belchnox also only died 6 times.
You
But
can
we
tell
need
it's a
more
James
impact out of
team.
James. He's been very quiet on the map so far.
He was 19 to 10 on map 1, and also, you know, 1 and 2 versus 4 at the end of the first half. Like, he had massive impact, big opening kills. So far on the CT side, he's not really done anything. Or I guess PARIVISION haven't really done anything. So I want to see him get activated with the AWP, and currently he's posted an aggressive line in apartments, but no one in Sashi are anywhere even remotely near that part of the world.
Yeah, James is reaching towards Banana pretty early on in the round here, forcing PARIVISION to bleed their utility.
He's been working
held on to
towards
it
this
quite
part,
well.
so why change as well?
Yeah. Does look like they're just going to rinse and repeat, go for another big execute into the B bomb site, though this time, I was going to say there is more than just one player here. Is Nota scooping up util? No, he's rotating the entire way across. They're going to get caught off with the gamble again. They're gambling incorrectly. Nota's trying to get back. He's not going to get here in
is.
time, though.
Well, I mean, AW could do well to get to the site, or maybe boost up Nota. They're going to do neither, and they're going to just sit behind these smokes. Oh, AW is actually peering around. He's thinking, I don't hear anything. He spams Siphon completely down, and he's able to get a reload off. These flashbangs and mullers are faded. So AW is going to have complete freedom and vision to prevail. Same with Nota. But somehow, they don't get a single kill. Bomb dropped across. CT smoke replenished. Belchnock, that nade's going to do good. Well, actually, not too much damage. And Cabby gets away on 54 HP. It has to be another save for PARIVISION, because look where James is.
Yeah, but it looks like Belchnock and xiELO are busting at the seams right now to try and go for the retake. They're desperate to attempt the retake. But they've been called back by their captain. And they're going to look for parting frags here. This is starting to get scary for PARIVISION. They're just lacking... They're lacking that, like, killer instinct right now, man. They're almost like playing not to lose. And Sashi have that never say die attitude. That fire in their bellies.
Terrorists win.
I mean,
They're
this
lacking
is maybe
intent.
the
That's
one-
the word I was looking for. I feel like
Intent,
PARIVISION
yeah.
are lacking intent right now.
Are they really taking any map control? Like, these 3
No,
rounds have been
none at
so
all.
bizarre because we haven't spoken about action. We've just been droning on because nothing's actually really going on. And even then, in that previous round, PARIVISION set themselves up well. They're able to get 2 players onto the B bomb site where it looked like they'd both be sat behind smokes, and yet they only get 1 kill, and it's a spam through a smoke. Sashi get really lucky there. They have bad util. That was a bad round from Sashi, and they've still won it.
And it looks like they're going to continue to persist with the speed bomb side as well. Why wouldn't they? They found so much success here in these past few rounds. Where's the intent this time round? Belchnok looking to take a bit more of a forward position in apartments, perhaps. There's some pressure from Becky and Naps to force PARIVISION back, but it's still going to be the big beep commitment coming through from the T side. Becky's just trying to keep them guessing, making sure they don't have info, but this time xiELO is going to rotate across.
He's rotating across, but look where Xiphon is. They will not
mate.
expect this. And he's got a timing. If he pushes Coffins right now, no one's holding for him. But they're going to flash. They're going to make his presence aware, and AW's been boosted late. That catches off Xiphon. He was the win potential for Sashi, but regardless, they're able to at least clamber onto the bomb site and get those digits tapped in. Surely you go for the retake now, but Becky's going to make it difficult because he nails Belchnok on the lurk, and James is still on short, by the way, and I don't see any reason for him to move because where can he move? Becky's just controlling all of this space, but finally he does fall. Issue is, look how sporadic PARIVISION are. AW and Nota are swinging through coffins while James was on shore, but because James so late, Patty doesn't expect this. Time's ticking down. There's a kit on xiELO. Lucky up for the 1 versus 3. Time's low. Has he done enough?
No.
It seems like he has.
No
The
kit.
kit was dropped in CT, so James had to go run and pick it up, and Sashi have been gifted yet another lifeline.
Oh, I don't know, man. Watching a James-led team on Inferno, I'd almost rather watch paint dry at this point. He just leaves the retake so ridiculously late. I feel like he's moving off the A bomb site when 10 or 15 seconds have already ticked off of the bomb over on B. Sashi have drawn within 1. That was PARIVISION's best opportunity yet, and they still couldn't get it across the line. And the streak continues. That's now 4 in a row.
I mean, yeah, like, dude, straight up, James just doing nothing. He's actually just a hindrance. I don't know what PARIVISION... Just be active, PARIVISION. Just go for a play somewhere. Even that round, you had a man advantage. The rotations were there. You dealt with Becky pretty quickly.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, I thought once they get that kill on Becky and he gets that backstab frag on Patty, it's round over. I have the most important question of the series so far, though. I've just lost it. Why in God's good name does James not have a kit? You've just saved for 4 rounds before that. How on earth have you not just spent $400 to get a kit, mate? What game are we playing here?
If he had a kit, I think he wins the round because it was dropped on CT.
Guaranteed. He definitely has enough time for the defuse. Even if the last guy left alive, or the other guy alive,
yeah.
I think if he had a kit, there's also enough time. How has that happened?
Yeah, I've just clocked that actually. I didn't even think why didn't they have a kit. I was just like, oh, they don't have a kit. I didn't ask myself why. But like even now, just look at James. He's sitting top mids. He's just been completely ineffective. PARIVISION at least do have 3 players on B, and I guess James is doing very well at holding this control. Nota blocks the smoke towards Coffin. He's going to be able to potentially play around that one.
Look at the
AW,
time.
rotated away, come back in. Yeah, Jesus, there's 10 seconds left. Sashi, they haven't even dealt any blood. Finally, draw some damage, but we're in the red. 6 seconds, there's no way this bomb gets planted. Hold on a second. Oh, it gets denied. AW and Nota spring. The trap is set, and Lucky even dies after time. The money is at least there, but PARIVISION finally break through, and it's not because they played well, it's because Sashi left it too late.
Oh, okay. I mean, finally, PARIVISION are able to get another round across the line to keep Sashi at bay, keep some distance between themselves and the Danes on this rampaging comeback. I respect Sashi for just persisting with these B hits, by the way. I don't mind that they've kept up with this approach. It certainly is bold not to try and pivot and do something different, but they're thinking they can just continue to try and bully that B bomb site. Money hasn't been a problem for Sashi up until this point, but if they lose this round, they only get $1,900. And that could be an issue in the round to follow if they lose this one.
Yeah, bomb down does make it not a worry, but if they don't get that bomb planted, people are going to be on Galils and SMGs, which is not ideal when you're fighting for tournament survival. Are they just, it's
doing
just
it
B
again.
simulator?
Yeah, I don't mind it because PARIVISION are constantly thinking, well, this is the round that they're going to be trying to go A. They're just doubling down, tripling down, quadrupling down here in on this B bomb site. AW scoops up the utility drop by Nota, and PARIVISION start to realize, wait, are they just going to go B again here? And Nota immediately runs back to B just as he's arrived at A. What are we doing here, lads?
So is xiELO. Rotations are good. Smoke is being planted on Molotovs, though, for PARIVISION. And this time, Sashi, they're not sitting behind the blockage smoke on Banana. They're going straight through it. And they've exiled PARIVISION away from this bomb site. But a nade in the smoke not only produces 1, but 2 clinical kills. This means Sashi are on the back foot in a 3 versus 5 post plant. But luckily for them, James still top mid.
Yes, it's a 4v3 game, effectively. He's going to be a while before he's able to get in on the action. Might be able to keep Lucky busy in Banana. Hits on 4 of the 5 players this time round. A couple flashes to try and aid their cause and getting back into this B-bomb side as well. Time ticking away, though. They've got to get a move on. They start to make their way forward, and they find the necessary kills. Lucky left on a brilliant transfer to get 2 kills, but xiELO will still find the frag anyway, and that's PARIVISION up to map and series points.
Lucky, just simply put, needed someone else to do something, right? He needed a little bit more from his players on that bomb site. And super unfortunate for Sashi, because they do everything right in that round. They just push through a smoke, the blockage smoke, with the understanding that they can get onto the bomb site. And they do, scot-free. But it's the nade in the CT smoke that ends up spiraling them out of control. And PARIVISION, in this effective 4 versus 5, have hit map points, series points, elimination point for Sashi. And they've got 3 opportunities to make this work.
And Sashi, guess what? Going to be heading in towards the speed bomb site again. Zyphon's going to try and kickstart the campaign off the back of that opening kill. They now know that Nota's in towards Coffins as well. He's already on his bike. He's looking to get out of there. You look at the finances for PARIVISION. There is no world in which they're going to attempt the retake here. Yeah, you get right, Freddy.
Ooh.
Although, nah, that's not enough to motivate them, I don't think.
Never mind. What? No, that CT smoke and coffin smoke. Honestly, I actually agree with this save now. Crazy to see this is the first time James actually been in close proximity for a retake. We've gone B 7 rounds in a row.
I respect it. I genuinely respect it because PARIVISION keep thinking, well, surely this isn't the round that they're going to be going B again. Let's try stack up on A. And it's never the case. I really do like the calls coming through from Patty, I'll be honest.
Wait, is this hunt good for PARIVISION?
It's not worth it all, right? Oh,
right now, actually, the fact that they got 3 kills, someone's going to be on sign unideal. Yeah, Zyphon's on a Mac 10. I mean, he got the opening kill with it last round.
Patty could drop an AK if he wanted there. He decides to prioritize utility. So, would have cost him a few pieces of util,
What's the game plan?
It's fairly inconsequential.
Ooh, final tactical pause being called by PARIVISION.
This is the round. I mean, if PARIVISION loses, they get $2,400. It's not really enough for a full buy in the next. I say that actually is for everybody bar Belchanok. So, not like there's going to be any free or easy rounds per se here for Sashi. Do they just continue to persist with the B bomb site to the end of the map here, whether that's overtime or bust?
love a rush A here. Not gonna lie from Sashi. Mac 10 just storming up mid. James, he's slept at the wheel. He's 7 and 6 in round 23. Is that the first time that Becky's actually thrown util apartments? Going B again. They're not even doing anything. They're literally just, they threw one mol away and they're just contacting B. The difference though...
I can't believe PARIVISION haven't stacked B in one of these rounds.
Hold on though. But the thing is, Sashi, when they do this, they throw a lot of utility. They make their presence known. This is very different. This is so dry, and xiELO is already on the site before they know what's happened to them. Nota finally will eliminate him, and again, it's that break in the smoke which puts us in a familiar situation of a 3 versus 5.
Yeah, you're bang on though. The change of pace here from Sashi in terms of the timing is different, but hasn't worked out too well for them. A 5v3 to try and make this post-plot work to keep themselves alive for a little bit longer here on Inferno. You can bet your top dollar this is a retake PARIVISION will actually go for. And Patty,
oh my God,
where on earth are you? What are you doing?
God.
Patty's on the wrong side of the earth right now.
Does this work?
Oh.
Does this work?
Bomb's not
Lucky
even
smokes
for him, I don't
coffins.
think so.
Wait, they smoke and flash coffins. This is going to be hard for them to come through. Patty, is he in the nick of time? He is. He at least gets one. It's a 3 versus 3. The rest are now stuck behind this aforementioned coffin smoke, and it's worked out. PARIVISION, they're saving, but are they going to be able to get away? Lucky denies at least one save. Cabby swings out, lines them up, but Nota shall get away with his life. A purchase will be in the next for PARIVISION, but Sashi in the 3 versus 5, that brazen. Oh my God, what a call from Patty.
Yeah, it worked out perfectly, and you're bang on there. The extra utility drop buys the time there for Patty to actually make that flank work. Arrives on the scene just in time. Sashi fought the entire way back. I mean, they had a ridiculous 10-4 comeback against Navi Jr. earlier on today on the CT side on this map. This time against PARIVISION, they were down, what, 10-5? It's almost exactly the same.
What did I
One
say,
round
dude?
away from seeing the light of day in overtime. And
What was
James
it
has
on
finally
10-5?
got B with the AWP. Oh man.
Oh my
What's
God.
that, sorry?
What did I say? Wasn't it that I was like, imagine they
Oh,
come
you did?
back, take
Yeah,
us to
you
a
did.
decider,
Yeah.
and you were like, Freddie, shut up. Or you were like, Freddie, stop it. You're being a silly Billy. James though, he's finally seeing someone. James actually
And Sashi-
seeing someone.
Oh, this is their call for them to pivot. James over
There's
towards
two players
the bomb
B.
site. Oh man, finally they're gonna see some action over on A. Do they get caught napping? They've had nothing to do throughout the entirety of this half so far but rotate. Or save. This
The
is
one
fast,
time.
really quick.
Entries are
Nota.
good, but AW and Nota, oh! It's all falling apart. Xiphon, final player alive. A 1 versus 3 is needed from him. The star player for Sashi. He's been exemplary so far in this series, but not in this map haze.
Oh, I don't know if he has been in the series, Freddy. Maybe in the tournaments he's had a really good time, but I feel like he's had a tough day in the office here against PARIVISION. That will all be forgotten and forgiven if he can win this round, though, but he won't be able to. James rounds the corner. He's 8 for 7 is James. 8 for 7 in 24 rounds of Counter-Strike played. But you know what? He hits the shot to finish off the job. His team wins the series, and they're into the consolidation final.
Commiserations for Sashi. They bring it all the way from 10-5 to 12-11. The one round they go towards the A bomb site. They hear the AWP ring off towards B. They charge in towards A.